All right, today we're going to look at Bitcoin. Why? Because it's the last day of the month. The weekly close happened yesterday, the monthly close happens today. Not often do we get that scenario, but we do. So we're going to cover Bitcoin because it's the market king and the market mover. So let's look at the zoomed in granular picture starting on the hourly chart, and then we'll zoom out and see what we need to watch for the weekly close that happened yesterday, and then the monthly close today, and see if we can extrapolate any kind of data from that. So looking at the 1 hour chart, we've had a little bit of a move down here over the past couple hours. Depending on when you watch this, you'll obviously know what we do here, but this is the 200 EMA that we're trying to find some support here. But even if we break that temporarily or, in a bigger way, we really can come down here and we can maintain this kind of lower support zone right around the 20K level, really on the hourly. So as long as we're above 20K, we're still okay on the bigger picture of the daily. So let's go there and see what that massive zone looks like. Let's remove the volume to clean it up a little bit here. Now we're looking at a little bit bigger picture. Right, here's that zone, kind of around the EMA 14. Let me remove that. So maybe we wick down there and kind of rhyme with this low here. We're still okay if we can maintain that level. Our bigger kind of zone, a lot of touch points kind of right in this area, right? So we could come down to right the 19.6 level. That was really our initial liftoff here, back on October 25th. So on the daily picture, maybe we come down here and we could still maintain this a little bit of an uptrend, maybe a turnaround. You can note that we took out this high right around the 20,300 mark, which is coincidentally where we are right now. And also, in maybe no coincidence, is that is the level of the EMA 8 at this point, right? You can see all the EMAs up here on the values. So the EMA 8, 20,300, let's hold that as support. Also, the previous top that we blasted out of just a handful of days ago. So we need to hold that as support on the daily chart to really maintain this upwards momentum on for closes, for the daily close. And how do we know the close, right? Just watch this, right? This can fluctuate throughout the day, and we can even move down to 20,000 and we could end up closing here, right? That's why you have two different ones, right? The candlesticks show the open, high, low, and close, right? For events, the closes, it's just the close, right? The line chart. So that's the daily. So that's what we need to be looking for today, to close above the EMA 8, and we can maintain our upwards momentum. Maybe we end up trending sideways for a couple days here, or for the rest of this week. Although I doubt it. Right? We have some big things happening on for the DXY news today, or the next several days. Not today, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. The biggest Friday is going to be huge, swinging, likely momentum. Average hourly earnings, non-farm employment change, and unemployment rate. That's the first Friday of every month, and it's the biggest. It's the biggest single day of the month, plain and simple. So likely volatility ahead. There's also events Thursday, Wednesday. We have, you guessed it, the FOMC statement. So Wednesday's going to be big. Tomorrow's even got an event. So the rest of the week, likely volatility bigger than we have had in a minute. So pay attention to that. We'll do some updates to that throughout the week. Join our Telegram, and I'll do more updates there as well. The link to that is just below. But let's zoom out to the weekly and get to the bigger stuff, the bigger picture, right? Check out the Bollinger Bands, the tightest we've been in a while. The bigger move has not happened yet. The bigger move is likely coming, although we don't know when. It could take weeks, or it could take, the rest of the year. The Bollinger Bands can stay tight for a while, but once they constrict, the bigger move is likely ahead in the not so distant future. So, but being on the weekly chart could take some time. We're holding resistance currently on the EMA 14, which we've rejected from twice previously. Now a third time, right? The weekly close went right up to the EMA 14, and we rejected right around 21K, right? So far, right, yesterday we closed that candle just shy of the EMA 14. So nothing unusual, nothing crazy happening, right? Par for the course, just ebbs and flows of the market so far. Still trending sideways since our initial low of June 13th. The low is still in so far. Will it remain or not? Are we going to reject hard here? I would say we're probably going to have an answer to that And then probably this week we'll either, this time next week we'll either be, back in the teens or lower, or we'll do a first in a long time, right? And the first in a long time is closing above the EMA 14. That's been the line in the sand, right? You got to respect where we've hit and rejected before, and that's 3 times in a row now. On the month, basically in August, September, and October. So 3 consecutive months, near perfect rejection off the EMA 14. It cannot be ignored. The EMA 200, right around the 25K level, just shy of 26K. That 25K level is significant on the monthly, the weekly, the daily. In multiple charts, 25K is kind of the where the bulls really start knocking on the door and maybe not, pressing through to, put the bears to sleep. But 25K, until we're above that, you got to remain a little bit bearish just based on that we're under the 200 week. Anytime you're under the 200 week, it's hard to, remain uber bullish for a long time, right? That's the clear cut line. If you want to be safe and you don't want to risk your hard earned money, wait till you get above that. You'll have plenty of time, right? I mean, go back in history. Were you in danger of missing any kind of major move if you were to buy just above the 200 week? No, right? You have plenty of time. Plenty of time. You don't need to rush and feel the FOMO on the day-to-day stuff. Stay level-headed, but note how tight those bands are on the weekly. It's been a long time since we've been that constricted, right? Even before all this, probably years, right? Note that something large is brewing. So to the upside, to the downside, that's debatable, right? We have to follow the data, and the data says we're still at the resistance line, right? EMA 14, EMA 14, EMA 14. Rejection, rejection, rejection. So this week could be a great week. Or depending on which side you are in, right? Maybe you're a bear and want to buy at 14K. You'd better hope for some positive news out of the DXY this week. If you're a bull, you'd better hope for some bad news in the DXY this week. Speaking of the DXY, we'll get to that at the moment, and just to the end of this video real quick, we'll take a quick look at it. So monthly, let's scale out even more, right? So the Bollinger Bands opening on the bottom, but not the top. So that's a sign of pause, right? That's not a power move, right? If this top band was opening way up, then we should be a little bit more scared. But this is kind of like a false floor, so to speak, so far, right? The mouth is not opening. In fact, just the bottom, right? Maybe he's got lockjaw. I don't know. So on the monthly, let's remove the bands and then look at the bigger picture, right? Last bear market, right? The monthly, look at the moving averages, the EMA 8. Look at the nice rounded kind of bottom. If we rhyme with that, maybe we do, right? Maybe we end up wicking down, right, lower. Maybe not. Maybe we end up just trending sideways and then kind of slowly moving back up. Maybe something rhyming with this, right? No black swan events. Maybe we move up. But most importantly to remember in the bigger picture, right? This isn't the next several days to several weeks. This is like 6 to 12 months out. We're looking at the 21-month EMA. Look at the support here, right? After you break it, big capitulation events. And what happens after you retake it? The bigger bull movement kicks off, barring black swan events, okay? So holding right here back in December of 2019 was likely the bottom minus the black swan event, right? So take that out and you could see that likely would have held, right? As it breaks, bad stuff happens. As it recovers and holds the support, that's when the good stuff happens. Right now, today, that number is $31,000, right? That also starts to coincide with our previous kind of monthly support zone, right? Remember this back in, way back in, last summer, right? May, April, right? That was what we were all trying to hold, 30K, 31, right? Remember all these zones? That was it. And likely, right? That's going to be the recovery zone. So once Bitcoin's up in that area, holding the 21-month EMA as support, and that's slightly trending down month over month. So what we'd want to see, moving forward, we're look at the side note, 50-month EMA, right? Perfect hold as support on the wick back in May, the initial drop, and then we break it, and then previous support often flips to resistance. Look at the, textbook right there, right? 50 month. So that 50 month is going to be our first test. And you guessed it, right around 25K. 25K on the monthly, the weekly, the daily chart, all significant levels. On the daily chart, that's our previous local top, right? You got to be watching 25K for Bitcoin to really shift to the bull boat. Right now, you should be in the bearish mind frame, bear boat, right? Because we're under the 200 week, because we're under the 50 month, just based on the facts, right? Not what anyone says, based on the charts. You got to be leaning that way. So the bigger chart, right? Things will really start to pick up massive steam above 25K and huge once we can get above that 21 month. But as you can see, down, month over month, maybe going into next springtime, we're, just shy of 30K, something like that. Maybe you're going to see all these moving averages start to converge, right? These level off. That's what you want to look for. Look at the EMA 8. That changes the fastest on the monthly. Nice drawing. So that's what to look for. Today, tomorrow, right? The monthly close, 8 hours away. Not much happening, right? We're trying to find the bottom, right? Low happenings September, low happenings October, really. If you look at it in the grand scheme of things, right? Look at these candles. Look at these candles, right? Now we're very, very calm, okay? So bigger picture, I think you should be more calm. The day-to-day is hard to not feel the FOMO when you have Dogecoin growing 50% in a day. That can cause some pandemonium a little bit. So speaking of the DXY on the monthly, right? Indecisive on the monthly so far. That closes in 7 hours. The DXY monthly is an indecision candle, right? Spinning top. Need to pay attention, right? A nice sell-off from previous month into indecisiveness. Maybe we get at least a pause. Maybe we get a retest of the EMA 8. The DXY is by no means dead yet, but it's showing signs of weakening, right? By definition, spinning top, pausing, right? Let's zoom into the weekly for the DXY. Closing below the EMA 8. Is that unusual? Well, a little bit, but we've done it before, right? In May and in August, we closed below the EMA 8 and then almost instant recovery, right? So are we doing that again? Or if we zoom in a little bit more to the daily, right? We've had I made the video of this, I think last week, like for Thursday, Friday, right? We for the first time in 500 days, we put in a lower low and a lower high, right? We've reversed this massive trend. So at least a moment of pause for the DXY, but on the daily, right? It's trying to move, right? It's trying to move here. We're holding resistance so far. At the EMA 21. So we would want to see bears for crypto would want to see a recovery of that, but we need a rejection if we want this bullish move in crypto to continue. So big stuff happening today, tomorrow, this week. So hopefully you like this video. Try to keep it as brief as possible with putting as much information as possible. So if you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing that. Hit us the like button. Follow us on Telegram. You can join the channel, get some extra perks there. That's a new feature, so check that out. And I will see you on the next video. I appreciate you staying around this long. If you have, I'll see you soon.